Great news, guys. We've got another funny situation involving Dragon Age: The Veilguard. On October 25th, 2024, Wolfheart FPS posted, 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there. So basically it sounds like BioWare had given a number of creators some sort of demo access to Dragon Age: The Veilguard, in which these creators put out videos that were like a first impressions sort of thing. And BioWare didn't like how they had some negative things to say about it. So now BioWare isn't going to give these creators a code for like the actual game, for them to make like a proper full early review video. Guess they're terrified that they're not going to be overly optimistic and fake about the game. And or maybe it's retaliation for the things they said in their early preview videos. Taking a brief look at Wolfheart FPS's video titled Mixed Impressions After Playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard Early, which seems to be the video in question, we can get some more context.
Our folks, September 19th, the day that the NDA lifts for most creators and journalists who are given the opportunity to play a bit of Dragon Age: The Veilguard early.
Stay the hell away from my veal.
And yeah, I was one of those peeps. And also, just note that the vast majority of us creators and journalists who got to play, we didn't play enough to warrant a real review here. This is basically first impressions for most, so take that as you will.
The full video is 26 minutes long, so consider watching the entire thing to get his full take. Here's a brief portion of the TLDR he gave at the end, so we can at least get a rough idea of why BioWare is all mad.
Overall, initial impressions wise, this game is pulling me in so many different directions and it leaves me very conflicted. But as a fan of the franchise as a whole, and as someone who's already gone through the mourning period for wishing that the DA franchise would head more towards the CRPG direction, or more towards the deep, complex RPG direction, I guess I could say, I do find myself still excited to jump back into it on official release. With that said, I just can't confidently say to you all, though, as my audience, that yeah, this is a definite buy. My guess is that this game will unfortunately continue to be quite divisive, but I could be wrong.
So yeah, based off that at least, it's not even a big deal. It's like a totally reasonable opinion. But hey, since this guy's not just gonna blindly shill for the game, given a bunch of fake optimism, no review code for you. I guess they really wanted to say nothing but positive things and be like, yeah guys, you should totally buy this. Actually pre-order it too. Just give them your money. Don't even think twice about it. He went on to add this, saying, please keep in mind, folks, that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more truthful than those who have been more positive. I'm just simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean that the game will be bad, but it is something to consider. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that are genuinely going to enjoy the game. However, there's also nothing wrong and nothing untruthful about pointing out how there's definitely people out there shilling for this game and being all fake about it. And of course, that's not something that only happens with Veilguard. There's a lot of people out there like that in general. It's really pathetic how there's people actually getting mad at this dude for making that take. For example, this tweet saying, oh please, I hate when people make these follow-up tweets after they open the floodgates for BioWare to be harassed. As if criticizing a corporation and talking about how marketing works is harassing the corpos. My gosh, what a pathetic take. Someone says protect the corporation and their gains, and that person calls them a Russian bot. Absolutely terminally online behavior. Another angry person's like, I don't mean to undermine other reviews, but I did anyway. The thing is, all Wolfheart did was talk about his early impressions and then how BioWare responded afterwards. If dude really wants to say that something so simple undermines other people's reviews, then he's basically implying that those reviews are super disingenuous. So there's this YouTuber Kayla Elizabeth, who's mostly a Dragon Age: The Veilguard creator it looks like, but also does talk about some other games here and there. And she responded to Wolfheart. Interesting discourse right here. She says, there were also people who were very positive and were also at the event who didn't get review copies also. I definitely think you guys should have been given codes, but I want to point out it wasn't only people being more critical who weren't given codes. He says, I understand that, and I did my research on this before posting. The point is more so that everyone I know of who was critical did not get a code, with 2 of us being heavily involved in the party-based RPG scene. It's just not a good look. It is, however, a good look on the investor side of the equation though. She then said, that's totally fair, and I'm sure is how marketing will favor it, of course. I just know people who also didn't get codes that I also expected to. So while I agree with you, I just wanted to add additional context that it wasn't only more critical creators who didn't get codes. Wolfheart would make another response to this tweet that reads, I mean, if Scale Up got a review copy, they most certainly did, then this logic doesn't really hold when Austin had criticisms and Ralph still wasn't convinced by the previews. With Wolfheart responding, saying, the conclusion of that review is clearly overwhelmingly positive. Austin's opinion is completely valid, but I don't know where to even proceed with this conversation if you can't see the difference here. Ultimately, I think Wolfheart has been very reasonable in his takes, and I do find it bizarre how insistent some people are in defending this game from any criticism at all. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed my brief coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. And once again, consider checking out Wolfheart's full preview. I'll link it in the description. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.